for joining. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
So starting with the first question,
Sure.
due to the busy schedule of elderly person, some mental health issues remain unaddressed. What can we do in that case?
Okay, so one thing is that we need to understand the symptoms, right? So there are many symptoms that can come, like for example, loss of interest, in the everyday activities, right? And in elderly, what happens is they've just retired, right? They are leading a retired life. They are not maybe, or they are just post retirement. Okay, their children have gone out of home. It's an empty nest syndrome that is called. So they are alone at home, so they might not have that kind of social support. They feel lonely, right? So if these symptoms are there present in them, for example, they are very lonely or they are feeling anxious about their future, then thoughts of death is coming a lot, because you're proceeding towards death, right? That is a very harsh truth, but it is a fact. So some people feel obsessed with the symptoms of death, like what will happen when I die, or who will take care of me when I age. Like for example, these days kids, children are away from their parents, right? So they are not very near, so they don't have that. Sometimes these days they don't have much connection also, like children are so busy with their every life. And I would give a personal example here. So there was a client I had recently. It was a very tragic thing that happened. My client was very busy with his everyday life, like he was doing his office work and all. So his father used to tell him that please come and talk to me, like I need to discuss something, but he could not manage. And one fine day he saw that his father had committed suicide. So that was something very tragic. So he felt guilty about it, but I feel that if he would have taken that step, I know that it's not good to blame someone. I know that he tried his best, but if things were, you knew about the mental health, you could have saved his father. So in these ways you can, so if you feel, as you said, the symptoms and how we can address it. So if you find any elderly, or our audience here, if you see that our parents or any elderly in our neighborhood is feeling lonely, they want to talk, and you can just understand from there if they have bouts of crying or they feel that there's no meaning in living. So you should take it very seriously. Yeah. So that's all. Yeah. So can we go further? I hope this addresses the answer. Yeah, question. Sorry. Yeah.
So the second question is, nowadays everyone, almost starting from the teenagers to the middle-aged person to the elderly person, everyone is suffering from some or the other mental illness. So my question to you is that what is the main mental illness that the older elderly persons are suffering?
Yeah, so the major mental illness, one is depression. Okay, now depression is something which is there across the age groups, but depression can be really serious and severe in the elderly, because what happens is, as I said, that lots of changes occur in the life of an elderly person, right? For example, as I said, retirement happens. They're not going to office anymore, right? There's a change in their lifestyle, right? And the parents are also not. The kids are not there at home. The social circle change all of a sudden. Then their friends are, some of them expire, right? Or it happens, right? For example, my friend died, or some heart attack. Sometimes diseases cripple you, right? Some people might develop diabetes or any, severe illness, physical illness that might affect. So these things actually affect a lot of the effect. It's a very detrimental effect on the lives of the person. So depression is a very important thing, and anxiety is one other thing. Like, so in anxiety, depression and anxiety are quite comorbid, they're synonymous, in the sense that in anxiety, what happens that they feel anxious about the future. As I said, that what will happen, what if my kids don't look after me, what if they desert me, right? Lots of questions come in the mind. And social life is not there. If an elderly doesn't have a social life, a lot of people these days we see people are socializing, but if someone is very lonely, right, so that can trigger anxious symptoms, right? So anxiety and depression can be identified again with these symptoms, like loss of interest in everyday life. They are feeling very depressed about everything in the world, right? And then if they're looking at some more negative news, like there's so much of negativity these days, even in the news, like the violence that's going on, lots of hatred portrayed. So that can affect. So it's better that if such symptoms are there, then they should address it. Either they should share it with their loved ones, with their kids, and children are always there, right? So children should make it a point to be in touch with their parents and keep on asking them that how are you, things are fine or not, like so that they don't feel unloved, or they don't feel that, oh, nobody's there with us. That is the main thing. Yeah, somebody commented, keep going. Thank you so much. You're liking the session. Yeah.
Very lightly said.
Right. So so we'll go ahead with the next question. Yeah.
Continuous process is important. Continuous psychotherapy is important.
Yes. In this process, psychotherapy is important. See, medication is very important. Definitely, you cannot do it without medication. And psychotherapy is an added process to it, right? So both the things can work wonder on the mind. That is wonders in the sense it can elongate. For example, if it is the progressive disorder, it's going to harm you in 1 year, it will still take time to progress, but it will progress. So the acceptance has to be there with the family members, else is not going to go back or reverse. So that is a very sad scenario to look at your own loved ones going through it. But it's very, so I feel I would like to add here that we can prevent this at our young age itself by doing these puzzles, crossword puzzles, not to depend too much on gadgets. Like we depend on Alexa these days for everything, right? Close the switch off the light, Alexa, switch on the light, Alexa, make this call, Alexa. We are not using our brains, right? So this thing can affect a lot. So although it is a very convenient thing, Alexa is very convenient, and then these gadgets are very convenient these days, so it's better if we use lesser of these and we use our brains more. That is very important. Yes.
So my last question is,
right, sure, please ask.
So what are some of the challenges in the delivery of mental health services for the elderly?
Yes, so delivery of mental health in the elderly is very important because there are the challenges that come is, one thing we don't want to acknowledge. Sometimes the family members don't acknowledge that, there is a problem, right? And sometimes the elderly themselves they feel that no, nothing is wrong with me, because it's very negative. And then another thing is there's a taboo in the society, which I feel is very wrong, but it is still there. Or not only in India, it's there around the world, but here in India it is more, I feel, because people generally are not used to going to a psychologist or a counselor, and people generally question you, oh, you've gone crazy or mad or what, you're going to a counselor like that, or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So these are the major things that are. Then mental health is not given too much of importance by the government as well. I think government also needs to allocate more resources to the mental health arena. They feel that it is something which can be neglected, but although things are changing, people are making efforts, like your channel is also making efforts, like getting to people. And even I personally feel that even I also generally try to whoever comes across, whoever I come across, I talk to people, so I tell them about the importance. So if you do it on a ground level, I think we can do it properly. So that way, so these are the challenges, but I think we can overcome it with time. So we should be positive about the future, isn't it? Yeah.
So as you said that it's a taboo in India to go to a psychologist. Everybody thinks that we are either crazy or mad. So, how can we convince our elders that mental health is really important and you should actually do a checkup, or you should consult a psychologist to
Hmm.
see that, to actually solve your own problems and to see if you're having any mental illness or not? How can we actually convince them? Because it's very tough to convince our elders.
Yeah, see, it is tough, but it is not. See, it won't happen in a day. If you're like, for example, you said you have your grandfather. For example, if you want to take him, so you can tell him the symptoms. You can just discuss with him, or these days YouTube videos and all are there. You can show him some examples, like if he's not convinced with that also, then every day you need to first tell him, make him feel that it is normal. Like see, what happens is our first reaction always comes is that it's an abnormal thing to go to a psychologist, right? So you just make them feel normal, that okay, it is okay to visit them, and not to what happens is sometimes people get angry and say you should go to a psychologist, you've gone crazy, like tumhe pagal ho gaye ho tum, like that, people say that. So don't make such remarks, and it won't happen in a day, like, or day or two. It will take some time. So even if it takes 1 month, 2 months, so gradually people, they do get convinced. Or you can tell them that okay, just let's go for a visit, like you don't have to do anything, just see. If you don't want to continue further, it's okay, like that. We can convince them that way, yes. Yeah, so that ways you can convince. Anyone here who wants more questions? I think no. Pinkum Mukherjee, she asked. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Okay, yeah, please.
Is any of
We think all the topics. So I think, but what I feel is that we should have a positive mindset and never get, disheartened that why am I facing this? What is happening? Or even if some elderly is there who needs help, we should be ready to help them. Not only our own family members, but if there is someone around us who needs help, we can also and also we should not make them feel lonely. We should talk to them, understand them, like that. So these things can prevent. So it's prevention is better than cure. So I think we should prevent such things itself, right? So if we make them feel loved and show affection, express affection, these things won't come. So, and even if they come, we should face it in a bold manner. Yes.
right.
Yeah.
This time it was pleasure having you here today.
Thank
I
you.
hope you're liking our videos and the content we are posting. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, because we are going to be coming with a lot of more content related to psychology and mental health, and we are going to be posting every week. So stay tuned.